komme aus Berlin, ich bin 57 Jahre alt und ich habe ein ganz spezielles Projekt, das ich euch gleich vorstelle.
I came back to Slovenia to give a suicide prevention workshop at that school for pupils from 4 different nations: Slovenia, Romania, Turkey, and Poland. Also, the national television, they accompanied me one more time and they brought the story in the evening in the main news. And it was really great that I could plant a seed into the brain of those young people. Like I planted a tree of memory, what we did here on the ground of the school. I'm very grateful that we could do it and that we could plant this sign and that this tree will stand like a candle in the darkness, giving hope. In Germany, it's really difficult. Just one school allowed it to me. All other schools think we would produce the Werther effect if we did so. And then in the evening, they made from Mario Dieringer in the library of the city, where I had the possibility to do my lecture, the 10 lessons death was teaching me about life. It was a very emotional evening. I made great contacts and it was just amazing. And thank you so much that I was part of that. Also, thank you so much that they invited me and all the other teachers afterwards into a really good restaurant. And yeah, we did what I'm doing since I left Germany: eating, eating, and eating, and a little bit of drinking. At this point, I want to say thank you again, and how grateful I am that the teachers of this school made it possible to talk about suicide prevention with young people. This is so important, and it's a shame that German schools are avoiding this topic like the devil, the church. You can see the food was really amazing. Well, one day later, it was the last day of the Erasmus project, and the pupils they delivered a little show, and the show was around glass. Glass can break, but glass is also strong, like life is. And they did a really good job, and afterwards, everybody was honored somehow, and me too, as you can see here. And here is again a picture of the tree. I forgot to make it the day before. And then after that, we drove 15 kilometers up to the hills, and we had got an amazing sunset, beautiful colors, great view, and it was a very special location. And guess what we did? Right, eating.
Okay, wir sind Hausmaus.
I really would love to show you more of this because they were really good, especially when the daughter was singing, but the rights on YouTube doesn't make it possible. That's why the question of the day comes.
Does a universal moral code exist? The question of whether a universal moral code exists is a profound one and has been debated for centuries in ethics, philosophy, and religions. It concerns the fundamental nature of human values and the possibility that certain moral principles are universally valid and applicable regardless of cultural, social, or personal differences. On the one hand, some philosophers and theologians argue that there are universal moral principles that apply to all people based on common human experiences and the need for harmonious coexistence. This view is often supported by natural law theories, which assume that certain moral laws are embedded in the nature of human and the world. On the other hand, there is the relativist perspective, which holds that morality varies from culture to culture and that there are no objective or universal moral principles. Cultural relativism argues that moral values and norms are shaped by the social, historical, and material conditions of a culture and therefore cannot be generalized outside of these contexts. In modern ethical discussion, there are also attempts to find a middle position that sees some basic moral principles as universal while recognizing that their specific applications and interpretations may be influenced by cultural contexts. For example, principles such as fairness, justice, and respect might be considered fundamental, but their precise meaning and implementation might vary. This debate is not just academic. It has practical implications for international relations, global justice, and intercultural interactions. The question of a universal moral code asks us to think deeply about the foundations of our coexistence and our responsibilities toward others. What are your basic moral principles? When do your moral principles come into conflict with those around you? Would it be possible for you to adapt? And if so, why don't you? What moral ideas do you suffer from?
We are in a pizzeria. They won the national championship and with the best pizza in entire Slovenia. So they are really looking good. This one is made out of pumpkin seeds, flour, and these are more or less normal pizzas. It's really good.
You noticed it. It's another day. And this is the name of the restaurant. And you see, it's really not special. And from outside, also not special. But look at this. It was just good. But it was too much for 3 people. We couldn't eat it. So we took it at home and we will put it in the oven a little bit later and eat again.
Ya no hay otra